Welcome to LA Live. On the surface, this South Park district of downtown Los Angeles is an enclave of sleek new residential towers and trendy restaurants. But there is a flip side to all of this. In the shadows of LA Live are some of the poorest and most densely populated areas of Los Angeles. 75% of its residents are families struggling to make a better life for themselves and their children. This is where California Hospital Medical Center's Hope Street Margolis Family Center fits in.
My name is Socorro Solis.
Socorro and her husband have two daughters, Stephanie and Evelyn, and a son, Kevin.
Both my dad and my mom, right? They're from Puebla, Mexico. My mom crossed to the United States when she was about 14 or 15. My dad crossed by himself. He was also a teen, like 13 or 12.
They came separately, but they were looking for the same thing, an escape from poverty.
This expectancy of like a better standard of living. He didn't really want his children to grow up like that.
They met in Los Angeles sewing clothes at a factory.
At first, I was scared. I didn't understand any word in English when I came here.
Socorro knew they needed help if their American dream was to happen.
I came to Hope Street in about 2006. Kevin was 2 years old and Stephanie 5 years old. I met first Araceli because she was my home visitor.
I had the pleasure of visiting her once a week.
She teach me how to read a book to my children, or how to interact, or how to encourage them.
There's a big focus here on preparing kids for kindergarten, but there's more going on. I manage a program called Family Literacy, a two-generational program. We simultaneously work with the parent and with the child, providing educational services.
I need to learn English in order for the future to support my children.
So on a typical day in Family Literacy, parents would come to school with their children, drop them off in an ECE classroom, and then head down the hall in the same building for adult education.
I had Kevin as a preschooler. I just remember Kevin just being this sponge, you know, he wanted to read everything. He wanted to, you know, he asked a lot of questions about why this and that. And he loved blocks and bubbles and water and all that stuff.
The secret sauce of Hope Street is the relationships it forges with its families.
Our staff stays as long as they do because of the deep relationships that we're able to develop with these families. They look to us for comfort and for life support.
Our staff brings a special understanding of the family's needs because many have walked in their shoes.
A lot of, you know, the practices and the programming that we have here at Hope Street is because I know firsthand what it feels like to be hungry. I know firsthand all of the things in your environment that can affect your academic success, you know, because I went through every single one of them.
Hope Street's staff sees the capacity in parents to turn dreams into reality.
When I walked into Socorro's home, I saw that she was interested in her children, that she loved them, and that she was responsive. And so I would ask her, what do you want for your children? And she would say, oh, I want them to graduate from high school. And I'm like, what about college?
Sometimes I don't believe that it could be possible.
And so very early on, we were talking about dreams. She had all of these qualities, all of these skills and strengths, and it was just reminding her of that.
I just remember Socorro saying to me one day, you know, Gina, Hope Street believed in us. And so then little by little, we started believing in ourselves.
That certainty that the parents have, that we do believe in them and in their families, I think really is the foundation for our work and the accomplishments that we see in our parents and in their children.
We feel it, so That was I think is that make the big difference.
While encouraging her children to learn, Socorro went on to get her GED.
My high school equivalent.
So you're a high school graduate.
Yeah.
That high school diploma was very, very important to her. And I think also she really wanted to be that example to her kids.
I feel so it's time to keep going.
Both my mom and my dad push us towards wanting to pursue education.
Over time, Hope Street expanded Kevin and Estefany's worlds.
I started only speaking Spanish, and like being part of like this Hope Street, I was able to become or learn how to express myself. I was able to get exposed to different activities or fields, and I think that gave me a little bit more confidence to try and see or get more involved in high school.
The one about like science. I have this memory of us dissecting a cow's eye in Hope Street. It was the first time I had exposure being in a laboratory and like feeling like you're in that science environment.
I think Hope Street is a place where the dream could be possible.
Estefany led the way, becoming the first member of the family to go to college.
I'm a nursing student currently at Mount St. Mary's University, and this is my junior year. I'm thinking more pediatric nursing, so with children and focus with like healthcare, but with children.
So I was very proud of her. She was my American dream.
Your first American?
Yes, my first American dream. Yes, my first American dream.
And so Estefany being a first-generation college student, she just kind of set the tone for that family.
And then came Kevin. He excelled in everything at his magnet school.
And our valedictorian, Kevin Arista. He has the highest GPA of 4.45.
I'd also like to congratulate my teachers for being the ones who inculcated into us a sense of responsibility, but for also being those second set of parents for believing in us. So thank you, teachers.
As for Kevin's next journey,
I applied to UC Berkeley, UCLA, UC Davis, and UC San Diego, and I got into all of them. But then I applied for Columbia. I remember we were eating, when I got the email, we were eating dinner.
We feel like, oh my God, my food in my throat.
Before even reading any email, there was like some type of like screen.
And it took like a second or two because there was a loading, and I was like, oh my God.
It's some type of video. And we were like, they sent a video? And he said, yeah, so we're like, so what does it say?
And all you hear is the music, the Columbia fight song. And that's when I got into Columbia. And so after getting into these wonderful colleges, yeah.
I think it was very like emotional for all of us. I'm sorry.
So it was my second American dream.
I remember telling my parents I fulfilled my goals, but I was able to fulfill theirs.
with that, the DACA mom delivered her son to Columbia University, an Ivy League college founded in 1754. Kevin just completed his freshman year, majoring in engineering and computer science.
For me and for my family, Hope Street changed our lives. Yeah.
And their Hope Street family couldn't be more proud of them.
Socorro never forgets where she started. And to me, that's just, it's such an honor for her to give Hope Street a little bit of the credit for her family success, which really lies on her and, you know, her values and the way she loves her family. This family has that drive, that motivation, not just to overcome, but just set a goal and reach it, no matter what.
This is why we give.